questions. So we start with this one. Question number 4, I mean. These assumptions, of course, you must be having them somewhere. Assumptions of CVP, you must be having them somewhere. We know that cost, volume, profit analysis. We normally assume, ladies and gentlemen, the CVP assumptions. We normally assume that number one, remember it is cost or the profit equals price minus variable cost minus fixed cost, like that. So from this profit equation, we shall be able to get so many assumptions. So assumption number one is that the price is known in advance and will remain constant. The price is known in advance, selling price is known in advance and will remain constant. Variable cost per unit is known in advance and will remain constant. I hope somebody is writing this down. Variable cost per unit doesn't fluctuate. It's known in advance and will remain constant. The same case with this fixed cost, that the fixed costs are known in advance and they will remain constant. And then, of course, we have the assumption of what here? Linearity. That in this case here, profits are directly related to number of units here. So that the functions involved, all of them are straight line functions of this nature. All functions involved under CVP, ladies and gentlemen, are straight line functions of this nature. Very, very important. Then we have in this case here another assumption that all units produced are sold. All units produced are sold. No inventory, zero inventory. Zero inventory is an accountant because whatever we produce, we are able to get what here? We are able to get a market. That is why you'll get some books talking about what here? Perfect market. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe you have taken in some points there. And of course, if you haven't taken in, there are very, very good students in here who will be able to write those things and then they send it to us on WhatsApp. Otherwise, my aim today is to tackle part B of this question, Wakuvi Limited. Wakuvi Limited manufactures a hedge trimming tool which has been selling at shilling 1,600 per unit for a number of years. The selling price, and mute room. Sorry, let me just see something. Mute all. All of them are muted. So the selling price is to be reviewed and the following information is available on the cost and the likely demand. We have number one, the standard variable cost of manufacturing the tool is 1,000. The standard variable cost of manufacturing the tool is 1,000. And an analysis of the cost variances in the past 20 months shows the following pattern which the production manager expects to continue in the future. You can see adverse variances on the standard cost occurred in 10 over the 20 months. Nil variances occurred in 6 of the 20 months. Favorable variances, 5% of the standard variable cost occurred in 4 of the 20 months. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's write down the new variable cost. Let's write down the new variable cost. This was not really a tough one. This wasn't a tough one. The new variable cost, what do we have here? New variable cost. This was really easy. By the way, had you gotten some time to attempt this question? Had you guys attempted this question? I believe so, even if it mocked you, but I believe you had attempted it. Had you guys attempted this question? Let me just get the responses for me to know the speed that I should be able to move. Great. At least they attempted it, yes. Thank you so much. So then we have here adverse variance. So adverse, nil, and a favorable. Adverse, nil, and a favorable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember adverse is 10%, nil is 0, favorable, they have told us it is 5%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please talk to me this morning. Whenever a variance is adverse cost-wise, what does that really mean? Whenever you're told a variance is adverse cost-wise, you had planned in this case here to get into a matatu to go to Mombasa. You had planned to pay 2,000 bob. When you come to the stage and then they tell you that the price is 3,000, this is a cost. So it's an adverse variation. So whenever you hear that the variance on cost is adverse, the actual cost is higher. So in that case here then, in this case here, the VC, the variable cost, actual variable cost, will be 110% over 1,000. Remember, the normal one is 1,000. The normal one is 1,000. So this automatically gives us what here? 1,100. If the variance is nil, it means that the standard and the actual will be the same. Nil. So it means if it's nil, it means that it is at 100%. 100% of the 1,000, which gives me, so whenever the variance is nil, I should have written the word variance here on top to avoid confusion. Variance, sorry. I should have written variance on top. So whenever, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, a variance is nil, it means that the standard is exactly equal to actual. We don't even have to remember the thing of 100%. You can simply say that given that the standard variable cost is 1,000 and there is a nil variance, it means that the actual will also be 1,000. And then we talk of favorable 5%. So we cut 5% from 100. So that will be 95% over 1,000, which gave you guys what here? 950. And then they gave us information on frequencies, probabilities. They told us that adverse has been encountered how many times before? Adverse has been encountered how many times before? So adverse, 10 of the 20 months, 10 over 20. 10 over 20. Thank you so much, which is the same as 0.5. How about these nil variances? 6 of 20. 6 over 20, which is 0.3. And then we have lastly, favorable variances, 4 over 20. 4 over 20, which will be 0.2, giving us 1. So were you guys able to give this question, this kind of an interpretation? Please tell me the truth. Were you guys able to give this question? Volume iko chini, eh? Ala. Were you guys able to give? They're saying no. They are lost. Why am I dividing by 20? You see 10 over 20. That out of the 20 times they were able to observe, adverse, 10. Adverse were 10. Adverse were 10. Adverse were 10. Here, you can see here, adverse variance is 10% of the standard variable cost occurred 10 of the 20. So what does that 10 over 20 times? So you can see when you add in this case here, yeah, 10 plus 6, maybe I should have done it this way. 10 plus 6 plus 20. 10 plus 6 plus 20, 10 plus 6 plus 4, equals 20. Yeah, this occurred 10 times, 6 times, this occurred 4 times. So then if you add, you'll get 20. So then proportion-wise, because probability is a proportion, it'll be 10 over 20, 6 over 20, 4 over 20, like that. And then they told us expressly there that the standard is 1,000. The standard is 1,000. They told us up here. That the standard variable cost of manufacturing is 1,000. That's the standard one. Yeah, and then we expect variations. The first variation is bad variation, is adverse variance. So it's adverse variance of 10%, ladies and gentlemen. What do we do to get actual variable cost? Or do to get actual cost when you are told that the adverse 10% adverse? It means that the actual is more. So you add that 10% to our ordinary 100. So you take 110% of the 1,000. When the variance is nil, it means it's at 100%. There was no variation. The standard and the actual are the same. So 100% over our 1,000. Then there was a favorable variance. When cost favors you, favors you, it means that the actual is smaller. So we deducted 5% from 100 to get this 95%. So 95% of 1,000 is 950. That's what we did. So I hope, ladies and gentlemen, this is now a little bit okay. I hope this is a little bit okay. I hope this is a little, it cannot be 100% okay, but I hope now you are able to get some glimpse, some light, which you can now ride on to understand this later. Reduce the light, okay? I know what I'll do. I will simply come here and switch this off. I think that will be better. Is that a bit better? Is that a bit better? Yeah. Great. So then can you kindly give me this? 10 over 20 is 0.5 in terms of probability. This will be 0.3. This will be 0.2, giving me 1. As usual, all probabilities shall add up to 1. So then can you kindly give me the expected variable cost? Give me the expected variable cost. Give me expected VC. So the expected variable cost will take our variable cost that we have times the corresponding probabilities. So you take the variable cost times probabilities and then you sum them. So what do we have there? 1,100 times 0.5 plus 1,000 times 0.3 plus 950 times 0.2. So what figure do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, 1040. Thank you so much, Beatrice, Tony. Great. Francisca, great. So in total, I'm interested in the total figure, which is 10 what here, somebody? Which is 1040. 1040. Now let's continue reading the question. Let's continue reading this question. So we are told here, the fixed costs have been 400 per unit at an average sales level of 20,000 units, but are expected to rise in the future. So they shall rise in the future. And then they have given us the following estimates have been made of the total fixed costs. So in this case here, can you kindly give me the future fixed cost by giving me the expected? What do we expect in the future? Give me the expected. Give me the expected. So expected future fixed cost, expected fixed cost. So expected fixed cost, expected fixed cost. So expected fixed cost, I can see there, it will be 8,200, 8.2 million, times the probability of 0.3 plus 8.5 million times this probability of 0.5 plus 9M times 0.2. So are you able to give me this figure? Are you able to give me this figure? Abracadabra. So abracadabra, we are getting 8510,000. Thank you so much. 8510,000 is what we expect in a car in the future. Now we continue there. They're telling us there the following, number 4, the demand estimates at the two proposed selling prices have been considered as follows. So you can see, should we go for 1,700? There are these 3 possible demand figures. So assume that all estimates and probabilities are independent. Based on the information given above, advise the management of Wakuvi Limited on whether they should change the selling price and indicate the price you would recommend 6 marks. So first of all, let's do with this price of 1,700. So we are asking ourselves, if we charge 1,700, how much shall we be able to get in form of contributions? So the first price we consider, so consider a price, a selling price of 1,700. So consider a selling price of 1,700. So I want to know the total contribution. So total contribution here will be contribution margin times number of units. Yeah, contribution margin times number of units. So number of units to be sold. So number of units to be sold, this will be XP. It will be expected. So is there somebody who is able to give me this figure? Oh, yeah. Anybody who is able to tell me how many units I will sell? Should I decide to sell these units at 1710? I can see they have given me 3 demand values. They have given me 3 demand values. If I sell at 1700, so you can see this 21,000. I hope everybody is able to see this. 21,000 times its probability, which is here, times 0.2 plus, we have 19,000 times 0.5 plus 16,500 times 0.3. Please get me right that should I charge this 1,700, this is the column applicable. If the estimate is going to be really very good, optimistic, I sell very high. 1,700, these are the 3. When I charge 1,800, later on, I'll be able to work with this. So is there somebody who is able to give me the expected sales units? Expected sales units? What am I able to get there? Expected sales units, what am I able to get there? 18,650. 18,650. 18,650. Then, my good students, what will be the total contribution? Total contribution, it will be price minus variable cost times number of units. If I'm considering 1,700, so the price will be 1,700. What is the variable cost, ladies and gentlemen, that we have discussed to work with in the future? Do we have expected variable cost? Do they still remember that figure of 1040? 1040, yes, 1040 times now this number of units, which are 18,650, like that. 18,650, like that. So in this case here, then what will be the total contribution? I'm being given 12,309,000. 12,309,000. So in this case here, there is no good reason for you to subtract fixed cost to get profit, because fixed cost will be the same regardless of the option. Fixed cost will be the same regardless of the option, so it becomes irrelevant. So should we charge a price of 1,700, we expect ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, to earn this amount. So somebody should be able to help iPhone, how we got that 1040. All right, then go ahead and consider a selling price of 1,800. Consider a selling price of 1,800. So here I need to get number of units to be sold. And because they are probabilistic, then I need to get what we call expected quantity. I need to get what we call expected quantity. It's very simple, yes. It's very simple, Yvonne. It's very simple. That is why I'm giving you all these papers in advance. Actually, the students who are not able to try, I don't want you to get everything right, but try so that I can be able to do like 5 model papers and guarantee everyone a pass. Have you gotten AMM Mock 1? Have you got an AMM Mock 1 by any chance? Have you got an AMM Mock 1? It is in the group, isn't it? It is in the group. Please ensure that you are able to do what you have to go through them, so that when I come here, is simply to knock a few things here and there. You can even form a discussion group. I'm so sure you guys can do like Google Meet, isn't it? Or you can even ask for my Zoom credentials. I can give them to you. And then you get into this meeting, try to discuss in your own way. So that when I come here, I should not be doing things like they are very, very new. Like I like what this ninja Yvonne is saying, that Molimo, I tried it, I saw dust. But now the way you are doing it, I mean, it's quite easy. Yeah, everybody should try those questions before I do them. Yeah, somebody is raising their hand. There is a person raising their hand. Thank you so much. It will be constant in all the cases. Fixed cost will be constant in all the cases. So then let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get this expected for 1800. So for 1800, what will be the expected? So I can see the column of 1800. The probabilities are the same. So it will be 1900 times 0.2 plus 17,500 times 0.5 plus 15,500 times 0. What here? 0.3. So is there somebody who is able to give us this answer? Anybody who is able to give us this answer regarding expected number of watt year units should we decide to go for 1800? Yeah, there is a ninja raising their hand. How I wish they can just go ahead and 17,200. 17,200. So then give me the total contribution. Therefore, total contribution, it will be price minus variable cost times number of units. So the price, ladies and gentlemen, here, the price is 1800. Minus variable cost, what we are expecting, regardless of what we charge, is 1040. Multiply this by the quantity, which is 17,200. Yeah. So then this gives us what here? 13,072,000. So then which price do you think is correct? Which price do you think is better than the other? You are wrong. Very wrong. Because, ladies and gentlemen, there is no way you can think about changing a policy without looking at the current situation. You know, we have a current selling. It has also to be evaluated. Otherwise, it would be jumping from the pan to the fire. So in this case, it's always important that you don't forget the current situation. Remember, you have a current selling price. Is there somebody who is able? Is there somebody who is able, ladies and gentlemen, to remember the current price? The current price. We have a current price. We have a current price. Is it 1600? 1600, isn't it? It is 1600, yes. So this current price is 1600. They have told us up here. Yeah, the current price is here, Wakuvi Limited. Quite a bad name, eh? Manufactures a hedge trimming tool, which has been selling at 1600 per unit. So in this case, let's evaluate the current situation. So current situation, ladies and gentlemen, so the current, consider maintaining the price at 1600. That's what you tell the examiner. Consider maintaining the price at 1600. Consider maintaining the price at 1600. Consider maintaining the price at 1600. Consider maintaining the price at 1600 before I answer that, ninja. Consider maintaining the price at 1600. So therefore, my total contribution will be price minus variable cost times number of units. So selling price will be 1600. It doesn't mean that if you maintain the selling price, that the variable cost will be the old variable cost of 1,000. No, costs are changing. Our cost changed. And that is why we are working with an expected number. So in this case, we shall work with 1040. We shall work with 1040. Should we, ladies and gentlemen, maintain this price? What do you think in this case here shall be the quantity to be used? What do you think will be the quantity that shall we sell? What quantity shall we sell? 20,000, yes. We shall sell 20,000. The normal 20,000 like that. We shall sell 20,000. So if you do it that way, how much are we getting? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, right now, we are at the same level. What do you think would have happened if you decided to use fixed cost, the same fixed cost in the options? You would end up getting the same answer. And nobody can ever give you a wrong there. You'll get the same answer because the fixed cost is the same, regardless of the option. But in this case, to demonstrate broader and deep understanding of the subject, when an expenditure is the same between the options, don't subtract it. Don't subtract it. So how much do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? 11.2 million. 11.2 million. So in conclusion, what are we telling these people? Yes, change selling price. In this case here, adopt a selling price of Kenya shillings what here, somebody? Oh yeah, Malone. Of Kenya shillings what here? 1,800. Of Kenya shillings, 1,800, like that. Can I go to the next question now? Can I go to the next question now? And then again, remember, it is possible that most students would not have seen this especially variable cost figure. But in this case, a very bold student would have started taking this concept of getting expected averaging. This times this times this. You will end up passing. AMA is all about your confidence. You must be very, very bold. It's all about your ability to attempt the questions. That is why you'll always get like 4 or 5 students after this. After, of course, it shall not happen like that, but you'll always get some students in this case saying, hey, I was the top in my class in terms of discussions. Dr. Aura used to even mention my name every day. But when the results came, and then there is another ninja here who has never spoken totally. This ninja does not understand anything. But again, when the results are out, when they send that message 2558, those ninjas have passed. It's not only in AMA, even in MA, and even in AFM. It's because at times in these cases, ladies and gentlemen, these papers need some level, some level of foolishness, which will be able to make you do all the questions thinking that you are correct. Thinking that you're correct. Thinking that I'm correct, what I'm analyzing here, I'm analyzing it the best way. I'm just thinking that I'm correct. That one alone can make you see plays that you have never seen before. Because when you go there and expecting that everything will be very easy, and then you say that I'm very bright, when you see things, in this case, you're not going your way, you always tend to panic a little bit. You're sweating here and there, then you fail. So what I would want to say to you as we move on, and you must have really seen this even the way I teach, even the way I'm giving you these mock papers. When you attempt a mock question, I don't want you to get like everything correct. I simply want you to attempt. Ndio kutoa manyoa. Ikutoa manyoa ni kama wale watoto wale Wahindi. Unajua Wahindi wanafika, mtoto akifika miezi 9, kuna kitu nataka wamtoe ile uoga mingi mingi ile. Wana unachukua mtoto unamrusha mtoto, ingawa mimi sijaribu hivyo. Unarusha mtoto chara, usijaribu hivyo. Akirudi chini namna hiyo uoga that is what I want to remove from you, that fear. That's why I'm giving you these tough questions. You attempt them in advance. And now you shall be able to do that. Otherwise, you may think that you know. And at the end of the day, you know nothing. And even the nothing you know it wrong. It can be disastrous. Manyoya ni mengi, eh? Oh, yeah. We shall overcome. So then if you allow mwalimu here, they want us, number 2, the expected profit at the price you have recommended in one above and the resulting margin of safety as a percentage of expected what year? Expected sales. As a percentage of expected sales. So then, ladies and gentlemen, are you able to give me the profit at this? Yeah, you'll be able to get the profit because we know that profit is P minus V X minus fixed cost. Actually, this total quantity, already you have it, but you can repeat here. You can tell us profit at a price of 1,800, but just repeat. So this is 1,800 minus 1040 multiplied by, I've forgotten this quantity that we were selling, 17,200. Minus now the fixed cost that we got as 85,10,000. So then that profit here will end up giving us what figure? Eli anasema mwalimu kasirikizo manyoa toa zote. Toa zote. Ndio nikuwe ready kuchomeka sasa kama kuku, eh? Imagine you'll not burn. Analysis and understanding. So 45, 62. No, you'll be very lucky. You'll be very lucky this time around. Very lucky. 45, 62,000. How about margin of safety? Before I get margin of safety, I must get break-even point. Is there somebody who can compute break-even point for me in this question? Please compute break-even point. Yes, don't worry about ANOVA. I'll be going there. How comes Henry is not how comes Henry is not in a AMA WhatsApp group? Henry, how did you get the link for joining here? I should take Henry to court. Eh? How did you get the link for joining here? We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Okay. So first of all, give me the X break even. 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 X break. Is there somebody who is able to? Because I can't get Mosmos. I can't get Mosmos without break even point. Yeah, part two. Mohammed, part two of this question. Yeah, F divided by CM. I want you, CPA Peggy, to do that for me. I want you to do that for me. This question on your mock paper, question 4, mock paper 2, and I'm doing Roman 2, where they want me to give them margin of safety, but there is no way I'll be able to give them margin of safety without break-even point. So most of them have been able to give this to me. Yeah, great. It was from a FR group. It should not have been shared there. Sorry for that, because we expected to pay. I don't know who is sharing these links with students from other groups. So feel welcome to participate, but I'll be able to give you a cost which you need to pay so for you to be legally around here. So X break even is fixed cost over contribution margin. Yeah. So fixed cost you guys have given me as 8510. Contribution margin, I know the formula. It is price minus variable cost. Remember, it is at the price we chose there, the price of 1800 minus 1040, which in this case I gave you how much? Somebody please help me there. 1800 minus 1040, that gives me 760. And I can see Ninja Francis has already given me a figure here. Peter Munyiri, 11,197. 11,197 units like that. That's X break even. Then could you kindly write for me the formula of MOS, Mama Melka, MOS, margin of safety. Is there somebody who can write for me the formula there? Margin of safety. Margin of safety. Margin of safety. Let me just wait to see where they'll be able to write for me the formula there. Margin of safety. X minus XBE. I like that. X minus XBE. But they want it in form of percentage, eh? So it will be X minus XBE over what? They want it in form of percentage. Over expected sales. Over expected sales, which is X. Let me write this in full. So anytime they want me to give them margin of safety, ladies and gentlemen, I will take expected sales units, minus break-even point units, all over expected sales units. All right. So what is the expected sales units? If we charge a price of 1800, expected sales units was 17200. Minus XBE, 11197. All over 17200. Whatever answer you get, you say times 100. Fixed cost. Please help Mwalimu to answer those questions, how we got fixed cost. Actually, the very best way of answering these students, you can even take a snapshot of your working, you circle that fixed cost, you show them. You show them. Because this fixed cost, remember what we did here? Remember what we did here to get this fixed cost? They're given here. You see here, fixed costs. There are 3 and they are probability. So we took it at 2 times 0.3 plus this 85 times 0.5 plus 90 times 0.2. That's what we did. All right. But a good student should be able to even show this student very well by just taking a screenshot and sending in the WhatsApp group. That would be very, very good. So this gives us 34.9%. So this gives us 34.9%, which really is very, very good. Thank you so much. So comment on the method of analysis you have used to deal with probabilities given the question. So we've used what we call expected monetary value approach. That's what you have used. Expected monetary value approach. Of course, we have been able to do what here to get averages. So explain briefly how the use of a computer program would improve your analysis. So if I was to use a computer program, then I will be able to do what we call sensitivity analysis better. I'll be able to involve many variables at a time. So in short, I can also do what we call scenario analysis. Scenario analysis. If I have a computer, I'll be able to look at how sensitive is the profit to changes of the variables one at a time. I'll be able to carry out what we call scenario analysis. I'll be able to carry out what we call simulation analysis. I can even do a simulation of 1,000 runs. Yeah, so basically computers will be able to enable me improve my speed of analysis and accuracy, given that I'll be able to do sensitivity analysis, scenario analysis, simulation analysis. Ukisema hivyo umeua huyo examiner chini. With your permission, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be able to go to the next question. So the only question we haven't done here, I think it's question number 3. Question number 3. Question number 3, Liquor Techniques Limited, liquor for beer, makes a special purpose equipment according to customer specifications. During the past year, one of its loyal customers, Hinya in Kikuyu means what? You're strong. Hinya, like we are waiting to see who has these bigger muscles tomorrow in Imbere. Yeah, ordered a specialized equipment to be fabricated for it. Liquor Techniques Limited finished construction of the equipment only to be notified that Hinya Limited had recently gone into liquidation and will therefore not take the equipment. Very, very sad. The original price to Hinya had been agreed at 9,108,000, which included an estimated normal profit markup of 10% on total cost. The cost incurred to manufacture the machine were as follows. After a sustained search, the sales manager of Liquor Techniques Limited has managed to locate one potential buyer called Zimwi, like a ghost, which has indicated that it could buy the machine if certain conversion work could be carried out. Liquor Technique Limited production department has made a preliminary assessment which reveals that conversion would entail extra work as follows. So you can see the extra work needed there. Yeah, the following additional information is provided. In the original machine, there were 3 types of basic materials. We have type P, would now be sold to a scrap merchant of 540,000. Type Q could be sold to a scrap merchant at 360,000. Very well, very nice. I like that. Then we have type R. So type R, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, type R would need to be scrapped at a cost to Liquor Techniques of 108,000. 2, the materials for conversion are at present in stock. They are already in stock. If not needed for the conversion, they could be used in the production of another machine in place of materials that would currently cost 684,000. The conversion would be carried out in 2 departments. Department X is currently extremely busy, and it is estimated that its contribution overheads and profits is 2.5 for every shillings 1 of labor. Department Y has idle staff. For organizational resources reasons, its labor force cannot be reduced below, so it's idle. The designs and specifications of the original machine could be sold in a neighboring country for a sum of 270,000 if the machine is scrapped. An additional temporary supervisor would have to be engaged for the conversion work at a cost of 162,000. It's company normal practice to charge supervision to fixed overhead. Hinya Limited had paid like that. The minimum price that Liquor Techniques Limited should accept from Zimwi Limited for the converted machine. Explain clearly how you arrive at your figure. So this is relevant costing. I like relevant costing a lot myself because number 1, I know if the question has got 10 marks and I'm a very, very good student, A student, I know I can't get 7. I'll get like 6. Yeah, because relevant costing really depends on your arguments. There are things that are straightforward. So even if you are an A student or an E student, all of us should be able to get the same marks. 6. 6. Why? Because most of the things are direct, and basically whatever you write down as a relevant cost, it depends on your argument. Even when you are marking CASNEB exams, ladies and gentlemen, relevant costing will have like 3 sets of answers. Whatever answer, how I wish all of you had done this question, whatever answer you have down there will be correct depending on how you made an argument, how you made your arguments. But again, most importantly, there are those obvious, the ones that will be able to make everybody get 6. Like when you are told idle time, whenever you hear resource is idle, then the relevant cost will be 0. Whenever you hear that a resource like a cost is fixed, that this cost is fixed costs, their relevance is always 0. Because whether you undertake this project or not, that expenditure will always be there. It's rent. Good example is rent. That has to be paid. Come to materials. They have told you that for this work, you need this number of materials. So then, and then I'm told that we have some materials in store. So if you have some materials in store, ladies and gentlemen, then that automatically becomes irrelevant. That becomes irrelevant. I don't have to charge this. So anytime you hear about relevant cost, please write there that relevant cost equals incremental cost. We are writing there, relevant cost equals incremental cost. Relevant cost equals incremental cost plus any opportunity cost or lost, plus any direct costs. The moment I have this equation, then I will be able to get like all the marks in the question. I mean, even if I get 7, 6, and I've attempted a relevant costing question, the examiner will end up giving me all the marks. It's a question that everybody should be able to get because it depends on basically how you argue, and a few of them correct, then the examiner gives you like everything and then he allows you to move on. So have you written down that equation? Have you written down that equation? Thank you so much. All right. So then, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have here. We start with these statements. I don't start with this table. Start with these statements to identify which one is relevant and which one is not relevant. So you write a big title there, relevant cost. So please feel encouraged because this one, whatever you write, it will be correct because it depends on, it's a subjective area, very subjective. Which lens are you looking at it from? So my relevant costs, so we start with the first one. So I'm told in the original machine, there were 3 types of basic materials. We have type P, could now be sold to a scrap merchant for 540. So you write there, type P. Type P, type P. Yeah, so we have there type P. So this type P, I can see an opportunity lost. That's how I write this. I can see an opportunity to be lost. So should I decide to convert this particular product which belonged to the other customer who refused, who has gone into liquidation? Yeah, now I've gotten Zimui. So should I bring Zimui on board? Initially, without Zimui, I had an opportunity of selling P as a scrap outside there. For how much? For 540. Now that Zimui has come on board, I can see an opportunity of selling this P that I'm going to lose. So I'm going to lose 540,000. So this automatically becomes a relevant cost. Because remember, this is an opportunity I'm losing. It's an opportunity cost. I'm losing this for me to be able to bend this thing and give it to who? to Zimwi. It's a mark. I don't know whether they're able to pick something out of this discussion, really. Is there somebody who is able to pick something on this opportunity lost? Because you see, at the end of the day, if I was just to say now that customer became liquid, he was liquidated, then at least I'll be able to sell some things like scrap. When I sell them, I get an income. Now that Zimwi has told me, no, don't sell these things as scrap, then I count this as opportunity cost because I'm going to lose an opportunity over selling. So anytime you hear about opportunity lost, very, very important, you take this as a cost. It's a relevant cost on you. You have to consider it because you're going to lose that income. Now, ladies and gentlemen, from there, what else do we have here? We are told type Q could be sold to a scrap merchant at 360,000. Hey, again, we have type Q which will be sold outside there. But now remember, this has got some extra work to be done. But we'll take 120 hours of labor paid at 270. So then I will basically count the net benefit. So the net benefit here, which is the opportunity that I'll be losing, will be that 360,000. So that is type Q. I see again an opportunity lost, which will be 360,000 minus, is it 200 times 270? Yeah, because I can see myself incurring some expenditure there. I can see myself incurring, actually it's 120 times 270. 120 times 270. So then that gives me what here, somebody? So the income there will be 327,600. Those are marks you're getting. 327,600. And then now we have R. Can somebody tell me something small about R? Please go through it and then you advise. These are, go through it and then you advise me, what should I do? These are, go through it and then you advise me, what should I do? R, there's something they've told me. Opportunity lost of 108,000. Thank you so much, Okeo Timon. To me, I think otherwise. I think it's an opportunity for me to earn. Those are opportunity earnings. Are opportunity earnings into bracket or stroke savings. I think otherwise. Oh, we figure out, okay. Great. I really love that. This must be a very good student, Esther. Wow. Students would want to do things on their own. So type R would need to be scrapped at a cost to liquor techniques. Now this type R would have been thrown out there. It's going to be scrapped at my cost. So then should I get a person who wants to buy this whole thing from me? I see an opportunity of me saving this amount. Now this will no longer be a cost to me. And if it's a cost that I'm going to save, it's an opportune moment for me to earn something. Yeah. So in that particular case, ladies and gentlemen, this will become 108,000. And because it's an income, amongst the costs, it shall be put in brackets. So should I get this Zimwi thing taking? Otherwise, I would have incurred this cost to throw away this R. But now should I get Zimwi then taking up this thing, I can see myself, ladies and gentlemen, earning something. I can see myself earning something. Even if you took it as a positive, don't worry. You'll be able to get so many other things, correct? Correct. But now, most importantly, remember that this is an expenditure that for sure, maybe this is a hazardous material. which for sure would have been told here in this case here, you need to go and burn this, and the cost would have been 108,000. But now we have gotten a savior. So this savior who is now coming to take this entire thing, all right, will be able to save me from paying this expenditure. So it's an income to me, all right? So because here I'm dealing with relevant costs, whenever I get an opportunity of an income, then I should be able to put what here in brackets like that. In brackets. That will be coming, yeah, will be sinking in as we progress. You see, there is an opportunity cost and an opportunity saving or opportunity earning. Yeah. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we look at number 2. The materials for the conversion are at present in stock. If not needed for the conversion, they could be used in the production of another machine in place of materials that would currently cost what here? 684,000. So there I'm seeing an opportunity cost. I'm seeing an opportunity cost. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please listen and listen to me very well. That this 684,000, that currently fine, I have some materials which are costing 576,000. Yeah, which in this case here I'll be told here that I would use to make changes to this particular product, which is needed by Zimui. But what have they told us? The materials for the conversion are at present in stock, so that old figure becomes useless. If not needed for the conversion, if these materials will not be used for conversion, they have a job elsewhere. I would have used, in this case here, ladies and gentlemen, to make this other machine, yeah, using these materials, and these materials would have cost me 684,000. Ladies and gentlemen, should I then decide to use these materials for Zimui, I'm seeing an opportunity being lost. I'm seeing an opportunity being lost there because I have an opportunity of using these materials for an alternative use, for an alternative work there, another machine there. So should I decide to really bend this thing up for Zimui, I'm seeing myself losing. I would have used these materials there. So I'm foreseeing, ladies and gentlemen, a situation where I'm losing an opportunity. So if I'm going to lose an opportunity, that is an opportunity what year? An opportunity cost of 680,000. I will be able to bill it here. Opportunity cost of 684,000 actually. 684,000 actually. So let's move on. And then now from now moving forward, it is yours to try. Let's see. Let's see here. The conversion cost will be carried out in 2 departments. We have Department X is currently extremely busy, and it is estimated that its contribution overheads and the profits is 2.5 for every shillings 1 hour of labor. So Department X is extremely busy. They're doing other things. So for me to call them to come and now rework this particular project for Zimui, I'm seeing myself losing an opportunity because I have to transfer those workers here. I have to transfer those workers here. I must transfer those workers here. So I can see an opportunity lost when I transfer these workers. So mention there, Department X workers. Opportunity cost. I'm going to lose an opportunity. These guys would have worked outside that they would have earned. It's an opportunity I'm going to lose by transferring them here. So is there somebody who can then do the working and they give me the figure to use? Let's do this working. I've not been reading comments. Just a minute. Let's just finish this and then I read the comments. So remember, these are the hours I want you to use. So you can see Department X, I need 3 men. 3 men. Yeah, 3 times 4 times 27,000. Is there somebody who can give me these wages? Anybody who can give me those wages? Yeah, I'll be able to answer your questions. 324,000, isn't it? But now remember, this is not what will be relevant. No, this is what these guys are earning and doing the other things. What is relevant is the contribution that the company will lose. And remember, they have told us that for each shilling that these guys are working, ladies and gentlemen, I lose a contribution of how much? I lose a contribution of 2.5. So 324,000 times 2.5 will give me how much? For each shilling. For each shilling, we get a contribution. So that becomes the relevant cost. This is the opportunity that I will be able to lose if these workers were doing their thing. If they were working outside there, I would have earned this amount. I would have earned this amount. Yeah. How about Department Y? How about Department Y? So Department Y, what have they told us about Department Y? And what will be the relevant cost? What have they told us about Department Y? And what will be the relevant cost? Abracadabra. So Department Y, they have told us, Department Y has idle staff. I don't need any other thing. When I'm told that these people are idle, then I'm not going to lose anything by engaging them in this project. The cost will be the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, if these ninjas are going to be idle, then I should be able to charge how much here? 0. I should be able to charge 0 there. Because they have told me, I don't even have to read anything. So long as I'm told that a particular department, they have in this case here, what here? Idle staff. And they are needed in this project, I'll simply bring them here and continue paying them the same salary. So then it means that the cost is not an increment. The cost is not incremental. The cost is not incremental. I can see Rachel is complaining. Are you guys able to follow somehow? You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but are you able to get something? Are you able to get something somehow, like idle? Idle, I mean, that is automatically 0. It is not that bad. Of course, I know it's not your cup of tea, but it's something you can easily get. And they don't have to be like all of them correct. No, 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 no. They don't have to be like all of them correct. Not a student. Even if you are an E student, you'll be able to get, I'll be able to repeat because I can see somebody telling me to repeat there. But before I go to repeating, what else have they told me here? So Department Y has idle staff or not care. Number 4, the designs and specifications of the original machine could be sold in a neighboring country for a sum of 270,000 if the machine is scrapped. Let me see, ladies and gentlemen, how you'll handle that 270,000. Designs and specifications. Designs and specifications. Let me see. Designs and specifications. Let me see. Let me see. Designs and specifications. Let me see. Designs and specifications. Let me see. I can only see one student who has spoken. I can only see one student who has spoken. I can only see one student who has spoken. How about the other students? I can only see one student who has spoken. Only one. Is it an income or it's an opportunity lost? To me, this is an opportunity lost. Because you see, if I don't serve Zimwi, what would I do? I would automatically go and sell the designs that I have today. Now that I'll be serving Zimwi, I'm losing that money. I'm losing that money. So it's an opportunity what here? Cost. It's an opportunity cost or an opportunity lost. 270,000. 270,000. 270,000. Just a minute. I was trying to explain something here. Assuming by being around, ladies and gentlemen, here, I have an opportunity lost somewhere. Assuming, for example, I would have been at KRA representing a client for Aura and Co. And that client, for example, would have paid me 1,000,000 shillings. Yeah. But now when I come to teach you here, will I earn that 1,000,000? When I come to teach you here, will I earn that 1,000,000? So it's an opportunity I've lost. It's an opportunity I've lost. So even if they're calling it an income there, I'm an accountant. I should be able to know that I never earned that. So now look at this 270. We have two options here. We have two options here for these 270,000. Yeah. And then I have Zimwi here. That if I tell Zimwi, I don't want any of your business, I would have earned, it's an income here, but when a Zimwi comes and takes up this, I lose that income. So it becomes what here, somebody? A cost. It becomes a cost. It becomes automatically a cost. All right? And then, ladies and gentlemen, the very last one, here, no. An additional temporary supervisor would have to be engaged for the conversion work at a cost of 162,000. So what do you think of this 162,000 temporary supervisor? Relevant or not relevant? Relevant or not relevant? Relevant. So we have here additional supervisor. So the additional supervisor will be 160,000. By accepting the work of Zimwi, I need a supervisor. So this is relevant because I'll be losing this money. It's a cost. It's a cost. So it's a relevant cost like that. Relevant cost like that. Then, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the very last one. So the very last one, what do we have there? So we are told here, Hinya Limited had paid Link Techniques Limited an unreturnable deposit of 12% of the selling price. So whenever you hear of an amount has already been paid, what do you think about? It's a sunk cost. That is irrelevant. So allow then Mwalimu to start from the beginning. Allow Mwalimu to start from the very beginning, and then we get to make an argument. All right, my good students. So we start with the first one. Yeah. In the original machine, there were 3 types of basic materials. We start with material P. So material P. So material P could be sold as scrap for 540,000. Ladies and gentlemen, in the other plan, without now Zimwi coming on board, I would have sold it for 540. But when Zimwi comes on board, what is going to happen? When Zimwi comes on board, what is going to happen about that income? Will I make that income? I see myself losing that income, isn't it? So then that becomes an opportunity, what here? Cost. That becomes an opportunity cost. I lose that money. When I bring Zimwi's special offer, I lose that money, 540,000. So it's an opportunity lost here. Opportunity lost. How about Q? Q, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have there for Q? So for Q, remember up here we are told that we had done a job for another person. And this other person became what here? Bankrupt? Became bankrupt. Now we are here with our product, but now something is trying to happen here. Like you're told in this product, type Q. Yeah, given that we had already messed up with that other client, we would have sold it for 360,000. I would have sold this for 360,000. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening is that when I get another buyer who wants, in this case here, to buy this product as it is, I'm going to do what here to lose that income. Because you can't be in the two spaces at the same time. So it is either that income or you go to this other person. If you go to this other person, you lose that income. So Q, again, I can see opportunity lost there. But now remember, it will be 360,000 minus some 120 times 270, like that. How much are we getting? Because there is a cost to us. There is a cost to us to be able to get this income. How much are we getting here? 320? 327? 327? 327,600. We go to the third one, which is an R. So you have to put yourself in the two situations. So for R, what are we told here? For R will need to be scrapped at a cost to liquor. That, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, liquor, we are liquor, remember. If in this case here we go ahead and we don't get any customer called Zimwe or no one else, then I'm going to incur a cost of 108,000. But now we have a savior called Zimwe. So Zimwe now is coming to buy this thing the way it is. So that to me is a cost that I'm going to save. Is a cost I would have incurred on the other side. But now with Zimwe, who is a savior, I'm going to save. So our cost savings over how much here? Of 108,000. Because their savings, what do? We put in brackets. Put that in brackets. All right? Then you continue just like that, like that, like that, like that. And I believe now you have, like now here, I mean, there are those ones that I can mess up, but there are some that I'll be able to get, ladies and gentlemen, very easily. Like now here, let's look at number 4. The designs and specifications of the original machine could be sold in a neighboring country for a sum of 270,000 if the machine is scrapped. If we scrap this machine, if we don't sell it to Zimwe, we get 270,000 an income. But now that I'm going to sell this whole thing to Zimwe, do you think, you can't eat your cake and still have it? So if I have this old machine, it's old now because that the client for the machine rejected it. If I have it here, there is somebody who is willing to give me 270 for those specifications and whatever. But should I get really Zimwe coming and buying it? Will I be able to sell the specification and then I sell again? No. I'm going to lose this income. I'm going to lose this income. I'm going to lose this income. So I would want to leave this concept, ladies and gentlemen, with you. Now, I have one favor to ask for. I haven't slept and I'll be able to explain later. And by the way, thank you so much. I got you a great gift. So I will not be able to handle my AFR class at 1 today. I want to sleep up to around 4. So I'll be able to do AFM. I'll be able to do AMA at 6 p.m. again. So I'm doing AFR at 4 and the AMA at 6 p.m. And then now AFR at 9 p.m. to cover up our lunch hour. And then I'll be with you throughout. I want us to make lots of noise here until everybody passes. Does that sound like a good plan? Does that sound like a good plan? Remember, we have AFM at 4 p.m. We have AMA again at 6 p.m. And before the AMA at 6 p.m., you guys must have attempted like 3 questions of model MOOC 1 that I've just sent. MOOC 1 that I've just sent, and ensure that you are able to attempt. So thank you so much. Let me go back and continue sleeping. We shall overcome. I will give you good stories in the evening. Bye. It will be uploaded, yes. It will be uploaded, yes. Thank you.